Hello, everybody. It is so good to see everybody today. Here in Kentucky, it is cloudy and overcast. We've had a little rain, need some more, but I just got a notice in about 10 minutes it's supposed to start raining again. So all is good. All is good. I'm excited. Hope it's going to rain really well. I'm going to, if I can find my mouse and get it over here, click the button. And here's all my friends. We got Ruby Claire in Canada. We've got Wayne Glasper in Scotland, right?
Right?
Okay, good. I got it right for a change. Oh, I don't know why I want to say Ireland. I know that's not right. And then we got Todd over in Texas. So Todd, we're glad to have you along
Right.
as well. It's a good day. I hope everybody is having a good day. You guys can go in the background for right now, but you're all still alive, and they're going to be helping me with questions and comments and what have you. If I change cameras, I can show you what we're going to work on today. We got a piece of what I think is Cuban mahogany. It was marked C mahogany. It is a mahogany piece. I'm sure of that. Where it comes from, I don't know. I just know what it was marked. Anyway, um, several years ago, I was trying to do. I was learning to do a box and took a class with Jimmy Clues. It was a big group class, and this is the box that I turned out of that. And I was working on it, and Jimmy said, "That's nice, but you need to do something different with it." And so we did a black palm inlay. The black palms didn't stay nice. It was pretty nice when we got done, but then he had me do a really tiny foot on it. So that's the shape we ended up. But was just thinking a while ago, this box is probably in the neighborhood of 25 years old, but yet it's still. Let's see if you can sort of hear it, I guess. Just a tiny bit of a pop there. The fit still is good. The grain still lines up. The cherry was dry. Um, this piece is dry. So we're going to see if we can do something similar, making a snap or a slightly pop fit that will hold up through a little bit of time. And so what I've done is I've already rounded it off. I turned my tenons on both ends. I've got a mark here for my what's going to be my parting line, and so we'll get going from there. And I'll let whoever wants to go ahead and start reading off the names of who all's in the chat, as Wayne snickers.
Okay. Well, we've got Ruby here, obviously. Frederick D is in. Todd's here as well. Roger Wallum is in. Mike from Dancers is in. Al's here as well. Haley's in. Haley. Deal, Old Man River, is in. Lucy's here. Hiya, Lucy. James Crawford, Mike Evans, Vinnie Charlton. Rich is in. Chris Walters, Johnny Foster, Bert Bowles. I'm still going down. The Angry Woodturner. Alfred 521628 is here. And that's us for the moment, folks.
All right,
Well,
all
welcome
right.
everyone.
Glad to have everybody aboard. Now, I moved my saw. What did I do with it? Oh, I think
Lucy,
I know where it is.
the other person here, woman Lucy, is Todd.
That's
Todd
me.
Phipps.
Todd from Texas.
Yeehaw.
Just to the left of the hurricane. All right.
I guess that depends on which way you're facing.
Well, if you're looking at the map,
Yeah, but if you're looking at it from the north end, he's to the right of it.
well, yeah. There we go. So we've just cut it in half. I've got my tenon, and that'll be my tenon that goes inside the base. So we're gonna take this stab center out of the chuck, set it aside. We won't need it anymore. There we go. Uh, Started to have a little clean on my chuck yesterday, and I realized I've got to do more than just kind of polish up the outside. I need to take a day and take my chucks apart really, and clean them really good inside and out.
Yeah, every once in a while, that's kind of necessary.
Yeah, yeah, just to keep them in good order. Mine is mostly stuff on the outside right now. I've got a lot of lacquer and sanding sealer and whatnot on the outside, but there's also sawdust and whatnot on the inside. All right, I'm going to take my half-inch skew and just put a little bit of shape. I'm not going to mess much with this end up here. I'll do that when I get the lid kind of fitted to the box a little bit, but I want to shape this a bit so that we know where we're going. Make myself a cut line.
So, what do you use to clean the your chuck from the sprays that you've used on it?
What I'm probably going to do, Ruby, is to just realize my face shield wasn't down. What I'll probably do is totally disassemble it, and for some of the exterior, I'll probably get some acetone and clean off some of the finishes and whatnot. And then the whole thing will go, all the bits and pieces will go into a small container of kerosene to just to clean it all real nice. Then I'll re-lubricate with dry lube as I put it back together.
Fred Gilliver has joined us, and so has Zed. He says, hello, hello, you Wonderwood enthusiasts. Happy Tuesday. And let's see, Haley is here. Those are nice cuts, Doug. I can really see the shine on the wood.
Well, thank you. Just trying to get a nice graceful curve, kind of from the top to the bottom. I'm not going to be nearly as severe as that other box was, but I do want it to be curved down toward the bottom.
Well, if it's not quite as narrow at the base, that means the inside's going to be able to hold a little more.
Sure.
And that's real important if you fill it with M&Ms or something,
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and it'll probably be easy to hollow out as well.
Absolutely.
True.
Get my parting tool and make it a little larger.
Mike wants to know if Wonderwood is sliced white. Some of it is, Mike.
Thinking back to when I was in that large group class with Jimmy Clues, seems like at that time he was still railing a little bit the I don't know what you'd call them, the so-called authorities of turning in that day. They wanted everything. The guys in Europe wanted everything to be very, very practical. They were looking down on artistic turning. And Jimmy was not that way. He wanted to be more artistic in his turning, probably because of some of his influencers. So that's probably why he wanted me to turn that little tiny foot.
Albert, this is, we figure it's Cuban mahogany. It's mahogany anyway that he had stored away.
Yes.
The reason for the light colour is probably some of it is sapwood.
Yes. Yes. In fact, if I turn it off, I can kind of show you.
Now,
This is more the mahogany color here. This darker area here. Then as you come around, especially here, that's probably sapwood there. There's also a little bit of spalting in there, so that may be part of it.
And Zed is just giving us a historical lesson. He says that he learned that the first French fry was not cooked in France. Turns out it was cooked in Greece.
Art. I almost bought a book because of you, Zed, yesterday. Not yet. Yesterday.
I think Zed should write one for us.
It wasn't yesterday. It was Sunday. I went to a Cracker Barrel restaurant, and one of the books on the rack was The Book of Dad Jokes.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I almost bought it. Almost bought it, but I held back.
And Mike says that in Germany, all legal art has only straight lines.
All legal art has straight lines.
He has got a laughy face after that.
Okay. All right. This is not what I was looking for, but I just wanted to do a little bit of a depth hole here. If I go. Okay.
That's going too far.
Yes, if I go to the end, it's too far. And I'm not so sure that's not my super dull drill bit again.
There's no way the wood's that hard.
I wouldn't bet on that, Todd. I've seen some pretty hard wood.
It just looks like he's really pushing.
I am. Much harder than I should have to. Yeah, that drill bit is definitely dull. I need to switch it out, get rid of it, or sharpen it. And I've got a sharp one over there. But anyhow.
You know, for something like that, I found a half-inch spindle gouge and do the job quite nicely.
Yeah.
So you're using your finishing tool.
Using my number one hollower.
Or your number one. Okay. And Daka Timberwoods has joined us.
Hey, Ray.
And so yep. Hi, Heather. Al says we've seen you with some really bad drill bits.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got some pretty bad ones.
And there's a question, what was the moisture content of that piece?
Of this one I'm on? Zero.
Yeah,
It's been around a while.
I tend to agree that the drier it is for doing a box, the more it tends to hold its shape.
Now, one of the things I've got to be very careful of, I need that side on the inside to be dead on straight. It needs to go straight back without any turn in any direction. So I'm going to use my skew lined up with the bed of my ways.
Rob from Copperell's just come in.
Hey,
Hi,
Copper.
Rob.
There we go.
And Jamie's just come in as well.
JP. The other tool that would have worked well for that, getting that 10-inch square or the recess square, would have been my little 1/4-inch Badan. I'm just using my little small follower to kind of finish out on the inside. Make it nice and smooth. Let's see, let's make sure I get all that out so I can know. Yeah. I need to go a little deeper. I haven't quite gotten to the bottom of my hole yet.
And Johnny says he's got to go, but he'll watch it. We'll finish watching it later.
All right. Glad to have you around. Glad you could come by.
I was just real interested to see if he got all the way to the bottom of his hole. So as he looked down, I leaned to my left as if I was going to see further into that bowl.
I do the same thing, Todd. I do it all the time.
I think we did too, Todd.
Oh.
Almost there.
Zed says he was out of town visiting his daughter at college and discovered that she does not have a sugar bowl. Guess what he's turning in his premiere next week?
You started to read that, and I was thinking dad joke, so I was trying to read ahead for the punchline.
That's the thing with Zed. You never quite sure.
That's okay. A little humor is good for the soul.
Absolutely. Not a thing wrong. Well, this is sad. I keep thinking I'm right at the bottom, but I'm not. How far am I? Okay. I've got to be close.
And Zed says that since you asked, why do libraries in prison always have thousands of books? So that they have more pros than cons.
Dear me.
I'd like to apologize to everyone for that. I feel like I might have been responsible.
Nah.
Philip J has just come in.
Hello, Philip. Glad to have
you. Jamie said that he sent me a picture on Facebook. I'm still waiting for it coming through, Jamie. That's still not coming through.
Surely I'm there now. Holy cow. And yes, I am.
You're all the way through the bottom?
Well, I'm to the bottom of my hole.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't go through the bottom, no. There we go. Just a little bit of a cleanup cut there. So while we're here, let's go ahead and we'll turn it down. I don't need to sand the outside just yet, but I will do a little sandy on the inside.
That's where it's an advantage to have long fingers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a short box too. Now I'm being careful not to come out here on my lip out here. I don't want to mess it up and get it rounded. I do have one little correction I want to make to it even before I do anything else, but not a biggie. One nice thing about these tight fitting lids, they can be used for a couple of things. One thing that I like to use them for is for gifts. If I have a little small gift to give somebody, put it in one of these, and it makes an awfully nice box. Over in a lot of other countries, they have what they call crackers, Christmas crackers, and they're usually what, cardboard or paper, Wayne?
Right.
Both. The inner is cardboard and then the outer is paper.
Yeah. And they put a little popper thing inside of it when they pull it apart that snaps.
That's right, yeah.
But you could do the same thing out of wood. Scott, Blue Light Turner, made one out of wood one time, and it worked really nice. That's been 2 or 3 years ago now, at least.
Now, Dagger Timberworks is asking, does Zoom have noise cancelling? Very little noise makes it in Doug's and the Worldwide Woodturners meetings. Doug has noise cancelling headphones.
I do. Zoom does have some, but so does the headphones that I use. So doubly. And in fact, I just had a Jabra update in their software. I'm giving this a little bit of an inward slant on the very surface here. That's just so that when the two halves go together, it'll fit more on this outer ring than on the inner part of it. Help hide the joint a little bit. Okay. We are done there for now. We will be coming back.
Are you going to put a finish on the inside?
Not right now. What I will probably do is oil it inside and out as a unit. All right. As of right now, that's actually too big, but it's too long. Switch cameras and you can see what I'm talking about. It's too long. It won't close all the way, but it's also too big. So I've got to correct that. I did that when I cut out the inside of this recess. So we'll fix that. Not a problem. Not a problem. Just the grain may not match up quite as well as it would have.
Raymond Wise has joined us. Welcome, Raymond.
It's raining. That's not something I'm normally real happy about, but today I'm very happy. There we go. A little too high on my tool rest. Yeah, I'm starting to hear thunder.
Now we're getting the rain down here.
You said that like I'm north of you.
To the rest of Canada. We're getting rain up here too, Doug.
Okay. All right, let's just go ahead and knock those out of the way.
And Jamie says the weather girls were so happy they made a song about it. And Rich is hoping the hurricane stays far enough off the coast. And it looks like it so far.
Good, good, good. All right, now, here's what I want to do. If I can find my parting tool. I'm going to start with my normal parting tool, just the diamond-shaped parting tool. We're going to start in here just about half of the width of my parting tool is all. I don't want to go in as far as I was, but I'm also going to taper this front edge just a bit. And then we can see where we are. This is going to be better for teaching anyway. Okay, that's not quite going in, so I know I'm good that far. So we can make that a little smaller. We'll make the tenon a little larger. I can go down to that level, taper it a little more. And I'm sure if you pay attention to what people are saying, these are called different things. I've always called it a double taper fit, because we're going to end up tapering this in both directions.
And Tim Ponders just come in.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, Tim.
And I'm not going over halfway on my tenon with that initial bevel. I want it to. Okay, we're just now fitting in. So that's all I'm going to do on the front end of that for now. But here's what I am going to do. I'm going to put my parting tool away. I'm going to get my 1/4 inch. There it is. My 1/4 inch skew. It's a little booger, but I'm going to come in on the back side of this tenon, and I'm going to taper the back side of it first, just enough. I'm going to come in so we're making a negative cut on the body of the lid. But then I want to taper that back side just up to the ridge right here. If I take a pencil, I can show you. I've got a ridge on that front taper right there. So I'm going to taper behind that mark just enough to get me up to it. I'm going to stop right there. And then I want to get it roughly where it goes. Somewhere right in there. I'm still just a touch too big. So
now Fred had a question about which direction you're tapering it. So on the right hand side of it, you're tapering it downward, so to speak, narrower.
Maybe I can show you with my skew. I'll get my big skew and I can show you real easy. On the part that goes into the body of the box, I'm tapering it that direction. There, like that. Okay, so it's tapering toward the center on the outside edge. On the upper edge, I'm going the other way. So it ends up, my taper here, if I'm looking over on that side, my taper is like that. Okay?
It's a V shape.
Yeah, it's a V shape. And I want, the only part that's going to hit the box is the actual ridge. Right now, my ridge is just a hair too big. And so I'm going to come back on the very front, on the front side of this taper, and I'm just touching it just enough to make that ridge just in fact, I can flatten the whole thing. It doesn't have to be quite as exaggerated as I had it.
Zed thinks your small skew handle is cool.
That's a piece of, it's not skateboard, Spectraply. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm almost there. Almost there. So I'm going to take just a hair more. I'm going to flatten it out is what I'm going to do. But just.
Daka Timberwoods is saying, so the tenon is almost a bead. And yes, it is.
Yes, exactly. Instead of being a tenon per se, it's a bead. Okay, I've got the shape right, but I'm too big. Just that tiny bit made me too big. So I'm debating which I'm going to redo this as well. It's just one of those things. You can get too big, and I almost said, no, we're not going to do the tool. That I would do my sandpaper instead. But I didn't.
Rich suggests you just glue it back on.
Yeah, either that or put the lathe in reverse. That'll add wood to it.
Absolutely.
That's true.
Absolutely. Just run it in reverse.
We do it all the time, right, Wayne?
Yeah, I mean, I first saw, what's his name? Is it Ernie Conover?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did a video of putting the lathe in reverse and adding wood back on.
Every once in a while, somebody will do that for a video. They'll turn something and then play the video in reverse, so it looks like all the wood's going back on.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just me. I'm sure. I have very little appreciation for that. I don't know. I'm just weird, I guess.
That's okay. That's why you fit in with us.
Well, some people really enjoy seeing those once in a while. I just don't. I just don't.
As Al points out, Pete did do a whole video in reverse.
Yes, he did. That was the last one I saw. No, well, yes, it was, but I saw one just before that too. And I told the guy, I know what you did. I know why you did it. I just don't appreciate that, personally. And they thought it was an offense, and I had to reassure them, no, it wasn't to offend you at all. It was just me. I just, it's not my thing.
Fred, that was a skit. What I said.
All right, we're getting closer, almost to the point where we're going to be down to sandpaper. Almost.
Mike says it doesn't work on his lathe. He thinks the flux capacitor needs replacing.
I understand.
Just not getting it fast enough. You got to get up there to that 88 miles an hour or whatever.
Oh man, that is so close. So what I'm going to do, when it fits over your initial bevel, but won't quite go over the hump, I'm going to turn the speed down. We're going to go to 220 sandpaper. First time I tried that, somebody said, oh, you get it down close and you start sanding. I started with 100 grit, and it was kind of the same thing. It went through it too fast, way too fast. As soon as I get this where it'll fit on, then we'll almost. Let's see. Let's reverse.
Zed says that technically the skew is a form of sanding. It's one grit.
This is true. It's so far off, I've got to hit it with the tool again. I'm not going to get it with sandpaper.
Yeah, just remember, very light cuts, Doug.
Very light.
Whatever you take off one side, it automatically comes off the other.
Mm-hmm.
Mama Snakes has just come in, and Paula Thompson's in. That's my little sis.
It would also help if I put this in forward instead of reverse. Yes, Paul, it's good to have you along. Haven't seen you in the chats for a while. Okay. Make a little shiny line so I can see where it is. We're there. We're there.
Shane Hurst is here. Evening, Shane. I'm not doing too bad. How about you?
How many times have we seen somebody jam a bottom on and they couldn't get it off? Or they crack it trying to get it off.
Yeah.
That cherry one I showed y'all earlier was about that way. The lid went on very tightly. And Jimmy says, perfect. And I reached over to pull it off and it wouldn't come off. And Jimmy says, oh, we'll always get it off. I don't know what he was going to do to get it off, but it was on there tight.
When I get to that point, I sometimes hollow out part of the inside because that allows the wood to flex.
Yes. Yeah, we're right there. We're right there. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Ms. Ruby?
And Karsten Peterson has joined us. Hi, Karsten.
Evening, Karsten.
Tell you what, it's good to see some of those same names throughout the week. I'm too high on that tool rest, I can tell you now. Any of you folks who were not here the first time I got this round tool rest, I was forever adjusting it that first time. I still don't have it down pat.
Can you not buy a collar for it?
Let's see.
And Robert Botwood has joined us. Good evening, Robert.
Hello, Robert. All right, now I got a little relief so that my bowl gouge knows where it's going. In fact, I ought to be cutting inside to out if I want to stay with my grain.
I don't know if you can get them in the States, but you can certainly get them over here, and that's a collar to put under the tool post.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, so what I do with mine is that I have the collar at the point where I usually turn with a bowl gouge or a spindle gouge. And then if I'm using anything else, the likes of a skew chisel, I know it just needs to go up. And once it goes back down again, it's at the proper height.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Yeah, a lot of people use those. All right, I want to come back to my number one hollower, which means I got to raise the tool rest just a little bit, not much. But that gets me back on center.
So are you leaving the lid square?
No. Talk about on the outside?
Correct.
No, it will get turned. Now, this is one reason I want it to be a nice tight fit. There we go. Beautiful.
And Doug's just come in. Evening, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Oh, I've got to tell this thing to leave me alone. I've got a Windows update notice. That's not good. Dougie. All right. Before I even go there, let's give myself just a little bit of insurance here. Sorry, Doug, no resin. There we go. Tailstock just for good measure. And then we can take this off without much problem. Same way with bowls, I want to give that just a little bit of a concave bottom so that it'll sit nice.
Now, Doug's saying he gets low views if he goes with no resin.
I thought he had one like 3 weeks ago or something with no resin.
He did.
Yeah.
Mike says that's because they just don't resonate.
All right, I'm going to turn my speed down. I was going full blast there at 1800 or so. Not quite that. So there's 300. I'm going to change tools, come to my detail gouge. Right hand pushing the bevel against the box. My left hand is on the stop button. Said it was. I pushed it 3 times. It was a start button. It's almost done, but that's close enough. Ding. Oh, that's one other thing I wanted to do. Just one other thing. I don't have exactly a more speed. All right, 1430. I'm just going to take my skew. Let's change camera angles. Just want to clean up the seam so it matches real nice. Right across both. Good there. Take that off. Still a good fit. Get this started. We won't be able to finish it, but in fact, I'm going to change tools. I've been having a lot of fun turning snowmen and what have you with my skew, but that is not the tool that is comfortable for me with this kind of thing. even though it is in grain. So I come in with my spindle skew and work that down just a bit.
Now, Fred is asking, would you rest the wood to reduce movement? The wood is hot, warm after cutting and therefore expands.
I don't know that I've ever noticed any issue unless I get it real hot. I understand what you're saying, and it makes sense. I've just not experienced any problems with that. Wayne, Ruby, you guys turned a lot more than I have. Maybe y'all could speak to that better than I can.
I've never had a problem.
Neither have I.
Especially if the wood's kiln dried. You can get problems if the wood is above a certain moisture content, because it will move. But on the whole, I've never really had a problem doing boxes.
And a lot of the time, it just straight out depends on the wood. Like fruit woods tend to move and crack more than others.
Yes. I was going to put that inside.
It's quite pretty.
Thank you. I was going to let these jaws go inside, but my opening's not quite large enough. Didn't quite work out. So we'll just grab that tenon. Then we can work on this outside. Again with the spindle gouge. And box shapes are like most everything else. They're it's up to you as the turner as to what you like or what your imagination is, where it's taking you at that moment. You see, I just put just a slight cove in there, really just to give the fingers a place to grab hold of. Not putting a whole lot of pressure here, just kind of letting the tool do its job. That's interesting, not for this piece, but that's an interesting shape for a lid right there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at that, trying to imagine it. Nah.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, so am I.
Wasn't quite doing it for you guys either, huh?
No.
No.
Not for this particular box.
No. If someone's looking for a good book on box designs, the book by Chris Stott is quite well written.
It is. It is. I've got that somewhere.
Just a book on box design, huh?
Yep.
And maybe something I have to look for.
Yeah, Chris Stott did one way back in the day. He did a book on boxes. And I've got another one with 50 different designs for boxes as well.
Yes.
Really?
I have the same book, and I went through them all.
I've got, I guess the best book I've got on any kind of shape is, what was it, 500 Boxes, I think it was called. or 500 bowls.
Right.
That's been a very good one to look through from time to time. I've got to dig that out. It's in a box somewhere.
So, Ruby, you were saying you made all 50 of the designs in that book?
Yep.
I think there's probably something to that, because I tend to fall back to the same designs a lot. And if I force myself to get out of my comfort zone and make designs that wouldn't have appealed to me, it might improve me later. I think that's.
I think you're right.
Well, it
Yeah.
also challenges you to copy someone else's work.
Yeah.
Um, I was fortunate early on in my turning to take a class with Chris Stott for a weekend, and picked up some pretty nice tips here and there.
Yeah, you've been very fortunate to study under several folks who will challenge you to do some different things and do them different ways. That's always good.
Well, my attitude's always been I would prefer to fly somewhere in the world and take a class with someone who does work that I like rather than spending the same week sitting on a beach in Florida getting a tan when I don't like hot weather.
Sure, sure. Totally understandable.
In
Says the
fact,
guy who wants to move to South Georgia so bad he can taste it.
and I'm the one that would take 2 seasons of winter and one of spring and one of fall.
There you go.
Once it gets over 72 degrees, I start feeling it's too hot out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. You may have noticed I pulled that out from the chuck just a hair, just so I can get that bottom edge. And now what I want to do. Oh, and I think you started to say it, Ruby, and I realized I messed up. I should have finished the outside before I got rid of both the tenons. But there's another way. There is another way. Let's do
Mhm.
this. A little bit of sanding sealer, just real quick. We'll change camera angles again. You guys can kind of see what's going on. That's all that one needs. Let's see, while I'm here, might as well.
That hurts me to watch you doing that, Doug, because I always masking tape off my chuck.
Well, he's going to clean it though, Ruby.
Yeah.
He did say that, didn't he?
Yeah, I've
He
already got
did.
plans to clean it.
Now, Doug,
I was going to say I used to have a big thing about keeping finishes off of my lathe completely. And then I started watching this clasper fellow over in England.
Me?
he was the bad influence. That's what it was.
Well, it's just one of those things. They work even with the stuff on them. You know what? Why worry about it and futz about it too much when you can clean it off? It doesn't take hardly any time to clean them.
No, I
So,
find it takes forever. I hate cleaning at the best of times.
well, I understand that too. Very much so. Very much so.
And Pole Barn Productions mentioned a book on boxes by Bill Bowers. And yes, Bill did write a very good book. He was a great turner.
And Mike has said that he likes the fit of the inner lid of Japanese tea boxes, where they just put the lid on and it floats down into place. Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
that's a lot of fun.
That takes skill to get it to do that.
It does. It's a skill I haven't got.
And that's what Raffin and Thomas Loft do, isn't it?
Yeah,
Fit?
My boxes tend to either be a wood turner's fit or a French fit.
Yeah. French fit's a whole lot easier.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And Fred says that if he had turned that, it would be slightly oval in the morning. That's why he doesn't turn them.
Well, if you start with dry wood, chances are it's not going to go oval.
And Mama Sneak says, Doug, beautiful, beautiful, as always, Doug, when you make stuff, and a lot of patience.
Thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate that. I really do. That was the abrasive paste. Let's get a little wax on it. I've started leaving just a little square of wax down in my, or a cloth in my wax jar, and that gives me an applicator that is always ready to go and doesn't soak up any more wax.
I do the same.
Yeah.
I make mine from old T-shirts that I cut up.
That's what mine are. Yes. Spent a day or two taking all my old T-shirts that I either just didn't care about or couldn't wear or too stained to wear or something, and chopped them up till my hands got tired. I've been using that same basket of T-shirt material for about 7 or 8 years now.
That sounds familiar.
When those finally run out, I'll do the same thing. I'll have more T-shirts ready to be cut up by then. In fact, I got some T-shirts one time just for that. They were like 3XLs, which are way too big for me. I just whacked them up. That's how you do it, right, Jamie? You whack them up. You whack them all together. Oops. Well, let's just throw the box in the floor and the lid.
That's a very pretty piece of wood. Now
it turned out a lot nicer than I thought it was going to be. Let me get my box and I can show you. I'm going to take care of that. What I'll do is oil the inside of both the lid and the box itself. Just double check. I don't think this will go down on these. Yes, it will go down on these jaws. I was going to get my Jeff Hornick jaws, but I don't need to. All right, speed back down. Turn my dust collector on. Get this sanded up. What do we got? Oh, right at the hour now, huh?
And Zed is saying yet another masterpiece from the master. Thanks, Doug.
I don't know about the master, but the master's sitting over there in Scotland.
That's true.
Oh, I don't know about
that. I'll give you that title if nobody else will.
Well, you can't give it to me because I'm a female and masters are all male, I was told.
It was when I was on the Creative Makers podcast 2 or 3 times. They talked to me about being an expert or what have you, and I know there's a lot of people a lot better than me. So I like to learn. I like to learn from folks.
Yeah, that's why I don't let my head get swollen, because I know so many people who are way and above all of us put together.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Just watch Steve Jones for a while turning spindles.
Oh,
if that doesn't convince you, nothing else. Hi, Ron.
All right.
And thank you for the compliments, Zed.
The thing is, if you look at what an expert is, it's something that isn't really very good anyway, because an X is something that used to be.
Yep.
And a spurt is just a drip under pressure.
That's exactly right.
I like that view, Wayne. Thank you.
Yeah, I told somebody not long ago that very thing. An X is a has-been, and spurt's a drip under pressure. So please don't call me an expert. There we go. Well, just that little bit of abrasive paste brings that color out, doesn't it?
Yep.
Pretty stuff. There we go. Pretty stuff.
Sure is.
That vaulted area, it's just lovely.
Well, I'll tell you, there are a few days I felt like a total beginner.
Oh, yeah.
You go to do something and nothing seems to want to go right.
Or like my day Friday, everything I touched ended up in the floor. Everything.
I've had days like that. That's why I have an expandable magnet for picking up the metal things that drop. And I have one of those long handles that you pull the handle together and the other end picks up the other stuff.
Yeah, the grabber. Yeah. Absolutely. I needed one of those I needed both of those Friday. Because I was dropping wood, plastic, metal. It didn't matter what it was. It went in the floor. Everything. I was real glad I wasn't using wax and abrasive paste. I was turning snowmen. And everything was going in the floor. Sandpaper.
Oh no, those usually get sucked down the dust collector.
Yeah, my dust collector collects a lot of barely used sandpaper.
Well, when you got one with a mouth that big, mine does too. Mine does too.
Well, it's hungry. It needs to be fed periodically too.
Sure. Mine still has the plastic bag on it. I don't think I've got any sandpaper in it right now, but it has eaten some sandpaper before.
Well, I had a real funny experience when I was demoing last week. The doggone extractor they gave me grabbed my car keys.
Oh no!
I did get them back before they got it turned off before they got all the way in.
Oh, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Now Al has a practical suggestion: just stick some chicken wire in the shaft.
Yes.
Or you could cover the top with like a chicken wire.
Mm-hmm.
Or like screening that you would use on.
Just right around the opening there.
Yeah.
Okay. I just dumped my cloth out, I think right into the shavings. So we'll use the paper towel. And I'll have to get another piece.
That's okay. It's biodegradable.
Yeah, eventually.
That's going to be an absolutely gorgeous box, Doug.
I'm liking it. I did have another piece of wood, just in case. This one did have a big crack down it. I think we actually turned the crack out, which is a good thing. I did super glue it before we started, but to turn it out is even better.
Well, it's good then that you use the wood up before it's too far gone.
Yeah. Well, this is a piece that was sent to me just recently. Lady I used to buy a little bit of wood from. She's out of business now, but as she was going out of business, some of those last leftovers she was boxing up to send me, and golly, it'd been a long time. I'd forgotten she was going to do that. And then She sent me a text and said, "Remind me of your address. I've got this box ready to go." So she sent it, and this is out of that box.
Yeah, that's
Real nice,
lovely.
real nice woods. She was a nice lady. She was a nice lady to work with. She got me some wood that I would never have gotten otherwise, I don't think. Some Japanese cedar. I turned several bowls out of that.
Mm.
She got me some magnolia. No, not magnolia. Um, what is that wood? I love it, whatever it is. Mimosa.
Oh, okay.
She sent me a couple pieces of mimosa that came out of Mark Soleil's collection.
Mm.
In fact, she sent me one piece to turn for her to send. I turned it and sent it to her sister, and then my payment for that was another piece of mimosa. So
Mm.
I had two really pretty mimosa bowls. One
Yep.
went somewhere up the northeast, and the other one um, is in one of my stores somewhere.
Oh, we heard the snap on that.
And that
Yeah,
grain is lining up nice.
it's not bad. It's not bad. But where I had to take the tenon off the lid twice, it's not exact.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the two sides make it look like a head.
Sure.
Or that's the hat on top of the head.
All right, let's switch over. There we go. Of course. Golly. If that camera doesn't have motion on it enough, it goes inactive or freezes up. Anyway, there you go, folks. Nice spalted area.
Yep.
But that lid should,
Oh yeah, that's a nice snap.
yeah, it's not terrible hard, but most ladies won't like that. Um, if I put it in the store, I'll bring it back and I'll sand that tenon so that it fits a little looser. But it's good for right now anyway. Any other thoughts, questions? Just barely over an hour.
No, some nice compliments coming in, Doug.
Thank you, folks. I appreciate it so much. Tell you what, if you'll do me the great honor of coming back in, not only to make sure that you have hit the like button, but to leave a comment in the comment section, that will do more good than anything else you could do for me. I really appreciate that, as well as with anybody who does lives or any other videos. If you hit the like button and put a comment in the comment section, that is the very best that you can do for us. So thank you all so very much. Most of y'all will do that, and I know. So anyhow, if there's not any other questions, it's been great. It's been a lot of fun. I know most of us all have other things we got to do here on a Tuesday afternoon or evening, as the case may be.
Right, for Pole Barn, the comments are off while the live is on. Pole Barn. What you've got to do is what Doug just said. Once the live is finished, go back in to watch it again, and the comments will be on.
Yeah. Yep. So it's just one of those weird YouTube things. A few minutes into the live, the comments go off. You can't do it, but then they come back on right after I end the session. It takes just a minute or two, but you can go back in and do a comment. So many of you guys are putting in great stuff now. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Ronald, thank you. Ray, thanks. Mama Sneaks, always good to have you around. And Copper, Vinny, all of you. Thank you all so very much. Al, Dougie. That's just what's on my screen at this very moment. So anyway, thanks everybody so much. It's been a lot of fun. Nothing extraordinary there. You can do the same thing. Just a little patience on fitting this tenon to the recess that you have, and it can go the other way around. You can put the tenon on your box and the recess in your lid. Some people do it that way. It makes no difference. There you have it. One box with a snap lid. I have a sneaking suspicion this is going to end up being part of somebody's Christmas present. I'll put something in there, something nice in there, and that'll be their Christmas present. I may even let it rattle around so they can think all they want. Just torture them.
That'll be peanut M&Ms then.
Could do that for my sister. She doesn't like nuts. Or I could put pecans in it and give them to my son. He doesn't like pecans. Strange kid. I don't know what's wrong with that kid. Anyhow, that's it for today, folks. It's been a lot of fun. Anybody got anything special they need to talk about? Ruby, Wayne, Todd?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
He's done it again.
He's left me in charge.
Yeah,
wow.
He's pressed the wrong button again. The same as he did last week.
There we are.
At
least it wasn't gone this time. Last week it disappeared. Wayne and Ruby and I were sitting there talking, and I touched the wrong button on my mouse, and everything disappeared. It was gone.
We were still here.
Yeah, no, you guys, you all were probably there for a long time. But anyway, I've got I'm helping in one of the stores that I'm in this weekend. Next weekend, I've got a show no, I don't. I've got a demo up in Dayton, Ohio. Back at the Woodcraft in Dayton, Ohio again. Looking forward to doing that with Easy Wood Tools. And then the weekend after that, I've got another show. And so I'm busy up, till pretty much the end of October. It's just kind of the way it is this time of year. So that's what's going on for me. So anyhow, thanks a bunch. If I don't see you until then, I'll see you next week for sure. And it ought to be a good time. I don't even remember what I've got scheduled to do, but we're going to do something. Maybe something for Halloween. I don't remember. Anyhow, we'll see you later. Say bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.